babe. What have you in store for us today?
You're gonna learn how to build a computer. Okay, so I got a new processor and RAM and motherboard, and we're gonna teach Judy all about computers. Do you know what these are and what they do?
RAM is some type of memory.
Yes, random access memory to be precise.
Okay, so it's like the short-term storage one.
Yes. Wow. Good, actually. And what does CPU stand for?
Core processor
Central
processing unit.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
And then the motherboard is what you put it all into. And I got AM4 bracket for my NZXT Kraken X61. So, and here's a Hyper 212 Evo, which will go on to my old stuff.
Wait, so if we put all of this together here, does that replace everything that's in there? No, because you have a graphics card and all that stuff.
Graphics card and all the drives will stay the same. But yeah, if we built all of this, then it could basically go in. Except I'm gonna put my water cooler on this, so we're not using that. That's for, I'm gonna pull all that out, and then I'm gonna put that cooler on it, and then it'll be a new functioning separate computer. I have that old case downstairs. So
let's get to it.
let's unbox this motherboard. It's a Wi-Fi antenna.
So it says tough gaming. Is this like a motherboard that's made for gaming?
It's very tough gaming. Yeah, tough is like their budget gaming line, but the tough is supposed to mean that it's like military grade components for extra
Rough
reliability, yeah. But really I found out it's their bottom tier gaming line. But it's Asus. I have an Asus motherboard and I like it, so I got Asus. So, why do you think it comes in this bag?
to keep whatever is inside from leaking out.
Yes, exactly. Motherboards are known to leak from their packaging. It's an electrostatic bag, so it keeps electrostatic charges from getting to it, because electrostatic charge is bad for electronics. So, and we can use this or we can put it on this cardboard, because cardboard isn't really conductive. So this is the motherboard. That's where the CPU goes. This is where the RAM goes. Graphics card. And then this is where my little SSD will go. You can put another one there.
Are all motherboards like structured the same way?
Pretty much. There's like a very common layout. The form factors, they come in many form factors. So there's one that's a little bit shorter. There's one that's really tiny and it only has 2 of these and 1 of these, and it's basically about that big. So it kind of depends.
What are these little things here?
Capacitors.
Yeah.
So those are the things that when they're full of electricity, they kill you. If they're big enough. And then there's our I/O. So this is what shows on the back of the computer where you plug all of your stuff into. It's got the little Wi-Fi antenna connectors
like
there.
Input, output?
Yeah, I/O. Input, output. Look, you know what you're talking about. All right,
I'm a
so
guesser.
so let's see all the cool stuff that came with it. A coupon for cable mod cables, which which are so expensive. I don't know if this will make it worth it. Some come on. Some sick decals. There's even a decal to put over the battery right here, so you don't have to look at an unsightly battery. You can put a little sticker over it. This is why I wanted spray paint, because I had half a mind to take these plastic things off and spray paint them.
What color did you want to spray paint them?
White. Because my case is white and black. Well, I'll edit in some stuff. A CD, no optical drive, so that's worthless. I don't have an optical drive. I haven't had an optical drive in years. I/O shield. Guide, which the only thing in this you will ever use I will ever use is how to plug in the front I/O, which is right here. It just says panel. And then there's a million connectors, and you've got to know where exactly to plug all of these little connectors so that it connects to your case properly. What else do we get? SATA connectors. One straight, one angled. That's cool. Extra screws. Look at this. Certificate of reliability. Certificate of reliability. So this is what the tough goes for. It's like moisture resistant, mil spec, solvent resistant, temperature cycling test. MOSFETs. These are all your MOSFETs and chokes along here. They're the stuff that gets really hot, and that's why they have these big metal heat sinks on. So that's all the goodies that came with that. Let's have her put in some RAM. So this is Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro.
Ooh, is it gonna have like really pretty lights across it?
Yes, it is. You see the picture. So this is 32 gigs DDR4 3200. I just went with 3200 because Ryzen 3000 supports it natively and it's cheaper than everything else.
So there's 4 of them?
There's 4 of them, see? 4 slots. And 4 sticks.
So it's 32 each?
No. Oh. God, no. It's 8 each. You want to put them in?
Okay.
Alright. Pop that open. Looks like they wanted to be open the other way, maybe. Alright, so you see the notch? The notch, it has 2 different links on each side, so the notch is keyed. So you look on here, there's the notch.
Okay.
So this is the long side, that's the short side.
Okay.
So you gotta find the long side and the short side. And then we're gonna open these up. Do those ones go down?
No.
Sometimes those are fixed, and only the top ones, yeah. There you go.
So I'm just gonna put it in like this?
Yep, just put it in those 2 little slots. Get it down, our notch is good. So once you've got it close, we're probably gonna, since only that side has to click, but what you wanna do is you wanna push with good even force on both sides. And this should snap up on its own.
Really? Okay. No.
Don't be shy. There you go.
God. Okay.
So we heard a click actually on this side, and this side the retaining arm popped up. So we know that it's good. Now just do that a bunch more times.
How? I didn't know it'd be so easy.
It's like Legos. It's like even more expensive Legos. hey, this is where all the pretty lights are gonna show.
Nice.
Looks pretty cool, huh?
Nice.
Alright, we're gonna put in a CPU. We'll focus on our faces. Focus on the processor.
What does this do? Is this like a
So,
mounting bracket?
no, it's a Wi-Fi antenna. So the cables plug into here, and then this has like a little base, and you rest it on the back of your computer like a little spoiler. And so you get better Wi-Fi reception.
It's like the thing that I almost broke the other day on the other one.
Exactly. So this is actually the stock CPU cooler. So this comes with a cooler, but we're not going to use it. It would be totally fine, but I want to keep my water cooling just for longevity, reliability. So that's it. It's not a bad looking cooler actually, if you imagine it. Oh, like this.
So this is a fan. This is
Like
just
this.
using wind.
Yeah, exactly. Just air. So it would go like that. Stock cooler with a 3600. It's Wraith Stealth, I think. Could be wrong. I think it's a Wraith Stealth. Yeah. There are Wraith Prisms, which have RGB. So they're the super hotness. Just gonna put this away. Go back. Put this back.
Oh my god, that big old packaging just for this little thing?
Well, and the fan. The fan was in there too.
Right.
Which is nice because most Intel CPUs don't come with a fan. So you have to buy a cooler. Yay.
What is it called?
Those
A
come with
core
little-
processing unit?
Central.
A central.
Central processing unit.
So is that like the brain?
Yeah, exactly. It's the brain. Okay. Now, this we have to be careful with because you see it has pins.
Oh wait. So this is the thing that when you were making the other video it was slow. Okay. Starting to come together.
My computer currently has an FX 6300. So 6300 to 3600. Kind of a switcheroo, but in a good way. Okay, now. This has pins at the bottom. So we just want to be very careful of the pins because we don't want to bend any. They're all copper pins. And it's going to go down into that thing. And it has this little arm here that you lift up and you see how the whole platform shifts.
Yeah.
So basically you stick it in, the pins go down in there, and then when you do this, it pushes all those pins up against their connections and keeps it all tight.
How much does that thing cost?
This was $200.
Is that like generally the most expensive part of a computer?
No, graphics card is, by far. So $200, $200, $200, and then that card new was probably like $600 or $700, but I got it for $200. It's a GTX 1070 from Craigslist. Okay, so they have a key to show you how to put it in. You see that there? There's a little arrow. You see that teeny little gold arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make it very easy to see, huh? But you can also tell because these corners have like a 3-pin flat edge,
Yeah.
and this one has a square edge.
Oh,
And you can see right there in the board, flat edges, square edge. So we're gonna let gravity do all the work, and we're just gonna try to line it up. And if it falls in, it falls in. And then we're good. Trying to find those holes. Ah. So you heard that dunk of it falling on its own? Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna make sure that it's not propped up on any one corner. Maybe give it a slight wiggle, make sure that it's all in. And then that's it. Oh, that was good. I noticed that the arm was only part way up, and so I lifted it all the way up and it dropped fully in. That's scary. Okay, so now it's fully seated. We just bump and then put it there. And now the processor and the RAM is installed. What do you think?
Nice.
We're done for now.
That's it?
Well, there's a lot more to do, but we're done with this.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, should I be making the pizza?
Okay, now we have to unplug the computer and we have to get it over here so that we can put in the new motherboard.
Okay.
So, let's start by taking all these cables out.
These ones?
Those ones. Just pull them out. We can just lay them down here.
Okay.
Alright, so we have to power it down, right? It's already turned off, but there's still power going to it, obviously. So, you have to reach back here and you have to find the main switch on the power supply and switch it. Now you see there's still a little bit of residual energy. It finally goes out. Mm-hmm. What I like to do is press the power button.
Again?
It's the the big circle. And that tries to boot it. It basically is opening the
oh, you're like trying to get the last surge of whatever.
Opening the circuit and letting the last little bit of
juice out.
Electricity, dissipate basically. All right, now we just pull all the cables and we're gonna take it over there and I'll help with that. USB, this one has a clip right there. Good, and then, power. Okay. It's a fat boy. It's a fat baby. It's a fat baby. Now we're going to take this side off. It just has this one captive screw and then the whole thing pops. I'm using this because my hands are probably greasy and I don't want to get it all oily. Okay, so that's what it looks like in there.
Oh my god.
What?
The thing we need to put in is the one all the way in the back.
Yes. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna flip this up so that we can see it.
Dusty.
Yeah, there's some dust that we can clean out.
It's actually really clean.
Well, I just put it together very recently. Alright, so the board is what we're replacing, right? And it already has that on it, whatever. So we need to take this off, and then we'll get an SSD out of it. But also we need to take out all these power cables. So we can start here. This is held in, ooh, Does that cover plate stop it from coming out?
God, this is the graphics card?
Yeah.
Why does it look so, like, gnarly and, like it has, like, bicycle chains or something in it?
They're not bicycle chains, they're heat pipes. So, basically, there's a block of copper sitting on top of the processor, and then these pipes go through the block of copper, and then they may or may not be filled with a liquid or a gas that basically changes from gas to liquid as it heats and cools. So it takes that heat, it spreads it out through this giant block of aluminum fins, and then the fans blow air across the aluminum fins to cool down the pipe, and then it sends that cooled air or gas or liquid or whatever back to there to pick up more heat and repeat the process.
Yeah, okay. So you have a fan here too.
Yeah, so those are just case fans. Basically, when you put the side on, it kind of seals up the computer. And then these fans here are blowing air through the radiator. These fans here are pushing the warmed air out. So you're constantly moving air in and out of the computer. This is dissipating heat. This is dissipating heat over here. And then all these heat sinks are dissipating heat.
So this
you
is
want
the water. This is the water cooler.
Yeah. Pizza. Okay. So the graphics card is being held in by a little clip here. You can kind of see it from here. I just pushed it back. It's much like the RAM clips. So I pushed it back and you'll notice the card came out a little bit. And then we can just wiggle it out of its slot. And there it is. So there you see the aluminum fins that the fans are blowing the air through. And then the pipes go through the stacks of fins. So the actual processor is, you can see the pipes kind of go to there. So the actual processor is here-ish on the other side. And then this giant metal plate on the back just kind of also helps dissipate heat. And it makes it look cool. MSi Gaming Dragon Rar. Red Gamer. So we can set that aside. Alright. What else? We gotta do this, right? So now we have to decide if we want to take off. That's okay.
With alcohol, because it's like this.
We have to decide whether we want to take off the CPU block and set it aside and leave the radiator, or take out the radiator and the motherboard as one piece, disassemble it later. Thankfully, this is really easy because this case, the radiator is attached to this plate here. If you undo these two thumb screws, the whole thing comes out. So it's super easy. So
I'm confused. Why do we need to take that out? We just need to take this out and then connect this to the other one and then put it back in.
But if this is connected here and this is dangling and we need to clean it off and reattach it, it might be a pain.
Oh, you can't disconnect the hoses from this
No.
side? Oh.
No. Then the liquid would spill everywhere. And I mean, it's still under warranty, so.
Okay, well, I don't know. Do whatever you think makes the most sense.
Okay. It can't see anything that's going on in there.
Yeah, hold it. How about if I hold it this way? See it then? Is it dark? Oh. Yeah.
So I'm gonna loosen these up because it's fairly well tensioned. I'm gonna loosen a little bit at a time. I don't want to loosen too much on any one corner because then it'll tension all the other corners weird. And that's pretty close, so it's just... Oh, you know what I should be doing? I should be unplugging this all first. Come around back here. Show the seedy backside of the computer. I don't know why it's seedy. Can you see anything? So we need to undo this and this and this down here. So we've got SATA power, fan power, send it through the front. All right. What other cables? This one is just coiled up in there, and it's going to CPU fan header. There's this one we pulled out. And then this one I believe is going all the way down, you see this, all the way down to the USB headers, which are here. So, which one is which? This one right here. And while we're at it, let's just get rid of the rest. There's HD audio. These are those front panel connectors I was talking about. Okay, we need to... SATA. Fan. USB 3. 24-volt main board power. Volt CPU power. Ooh, that one's in a tight spot. Got it. All right, what else? You see any more cables?
Not from this side. Just this fan one.
Is it plugged into here somewhere?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So there's all the connections for the CPU cooler. We can pop it off now. Get your mind out of the game.
How did you know what I was thinking?
There we are. Look at that smear.
Whoa.
Oh, you can't see it.
Okay. What is that?
It's thermal paste.
Is it supposed to do that?
Yeah. So it's basically the interface material between this piece of metal and that piece of metal, and it conducts the heat between the two. Any more cables? I don't see anything, so let's take it out. But I'm gonna lay it down for that.
Don't you need to lay it down on cardboard so it doesn't transist?
That's fine. Or, do you think, oh, well, I kind of don't want to lay it down with all this hanging out. Which
Oh, you were gonna lay it down.
kind of puts a hamper on things. So maybe I won't lay it down. Maybe I'll just take it out like this. How do I not have a magnetic screwdriver in this day and age?
There's gotta be one in one of the toolboxes.
Yeah, it's just the one I grabbed. The lighting would be much better if this was laid down. This is a tricky one. Oh, scheisse. Found it. What are the odds? Okay. There's the last screw. Now this back plate was only being held on, so I'm gonna keep hold of it. And then there's a peg here to align everything before you screw it together, so I just have to kind of pop it off of that peg. Pull it out of the I/O shield. Ah, shit. I should have taken that SSD out of there. Okay. There's our AM3 Plus motherboard with FX 6300. Pretty. I need to get my SSD out of there. So that's what we need to clean up so that we can put the new cooler on it. Uh-oh. Need a small screwdriver.
I thought we were using the same cooler. Oh no, you're moving this cooler to over there. I see.
Using what?
You're using the water cooler on the new one.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
It's a heatsink.
What is that?
So all those things underneath it get really hot. And so this is a big block of aluminum probably. And basically it's sitting over things that get hot and the heat transfers into the metal, and then air, because air is constantly moving across the PC, it goes through these fins and it cools it.
Interesting.
So it's a way of dissipating heat.
What's that?
My NVMe SSD. It's a Western Digital Black, 1 terabyte. And it's PCIe 3.0, but this board was only PCIe 2.0, so this wasn't even running at full read and write speeds.
What's a SSD?
Solid state drive. Solid state meaning it has no moving parts.
So it's also
basically
memory?
Flash memory.
Oh,
yeah.
flash memory.
So this is the same kind of memory that's in your long-term storage memory that's in your phone.
Oh.
But your phone has RAM and ROM, they call it.
Oh, so this is ROM.
Yeah, this is ROM.
Ah.
Nobody calls it that anymore, though. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that just helped to orient me, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you won't ever hear somebody
Okay.
say, oh, check out my ROM.
Check out my SSD, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Or just drive. I got a new drive for my computer. People know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about an optical drive. Nobody uses those anymore. So I'm going to remove this, I think. No, I'm not actually. Yes, I am. It's going to be way too hard to put onto the new thing without removing it. This is an NZXT H500 case, and it's super cool to mount the radiator to this. Because it all comes out like that. We'll put this down over here.
I feel so naked.
What?
The case.
It feels naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty naked. I'm gonna remove this just so that we don't have those issues putting the new one in.
What's that thing, bobber?
It's an SSD. Look, it even says on it.
Oh.
AMD Radeon solid state drives.
Oh, so you had like two of them in there? So you had the other one and
So this is a SATA SSD. So its connection method to the computer is using the SATA. I'm blanking on the what type of. It's a SATA protocol.
Okay.
And the other one uses PCIe NVMe protocol. So this is capped out at as fast as SATA can read. That's capped out as fast as PCIe can read, which is way faster. So this is an older style SSD now, but still an SSD, still super fast.
So you were using both of them in that computer?
Yeah. And I also have a spinning hard drive too. So the old big one, it's got spinning platters and a needle. So now we've got to set this aside. We're going to clean these up real quick. We'll clean this one up too while we're at it. Oops, I used that for... not that one. So this is where the alcohol comes in. Stop it. You can stop the video.
Don't you need that later when you want to put it on the new one?
I have to put new, I'm gonna put new thermal paste on.
Oh, you have that.
Yeah. And I just got a little bit stuck in that corner. I'm gonna have to get out. And there's some stuck in these screws too. But these screws don't actually come in contact with anything, so. Make sure this is nice and clean.
Looks pretty shiny and clean to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll clean up this one real quick. Nice, that all came off clean and easy. Look at how big the arrow is on this CPU. And now we have a teeny tiny little gold arrow.
Yep.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
There's some over here. And we got a tiny bit on the board. Okay, let me... do a new surface on here.
And why do you use alcohol? Because it dries quickly?
Because it evaporates and leaves nothing behind, yeah. You don't want to leave any
Moisture?
water or any kind of other anything left behind. There you go. All ready for its next thermal paste application.
Nice. What else do we have to clean?
That's it.
Oh, that was it?
Yep.
Oh.
And we'll set up the Hyper 212 Evo on this later. For now, I'm just gonna slip it inside of this bag. Oh, actually, I need this. Ooh, I might have to dig out the box for this motherboard and find the original mounts if that Hyper 212 Evo needs it. Wait, do I need that or not? Now I'm confused. Oh no. It has its own backplate. I'm done. And I'm sure it has its own standoffs too. This will all just be fast forward. fast forward. I'm gonna slip it in here. All safe. Okay. Now, let's see. How do these work? I don't know. I'm guessing that it goes like this, but I don't really know what to do about these. Maybe they go down. Oh, I see. So we have to remove this. And then these will go like this. See how that sticks up just a tiny bit? This will go like that. And then it has the cylindrical thing so that it puts even pressure on a bigger part of the board. So these will go like this. And then this new bracket we need to attach to the pump, and that will go like that. And we use those same things. You could just set it up and leave it. But you're having fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeet. Break for pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta put the new bracket on. There we go. Alright, so now all those clips are on the top side again. Yeah. Okay. So this is ready to install. And it's going to go like this. Sorry. So we can just line it up and check it out first. See how it's going to go on. So it goes on using those outside pieces. Basically like that. And let's see if we can get this a little closer so we have more slack. These are kind of twisty. That should be good. So I'm gonna flop that down there. All right, applying thermal paste. This is probably not the best thermal paste on the planet. But it came with the Hyper 212 EVA, so it's not my fault if it's crap. Basically, we're gonna put about the size of a pea. That's about a pea, right? Mm-hmm. Right in the middle. And then when we put that block on it and we tighten it down, that's gonna smoosh out across the whole top of it, like you saw when we took the old one off.
Yeet.
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 Okay. So this should be one graceful motion. And you can kind of feel it slipping and sliding on that thermal compound. Oh, did not mean to do that. So, and then we're gonna tighten this in a delicate manner as well. So once you get that going, don't screw it down all the way. Try flipping it over. It's okay. Just gonna center it real quick. All right, now the trick here is to get an even distribution of the clamping force. So basically what we want to do is do a little bit at a time, and we'll go like a star pattern. So these are already basically bottomed out, bottomed out, bottomed out, bottomed out. This one just has a tiny bit more. So it's on. And right now it's, this big thing right here is basically a spring. So these are pulling this metal bracket further down than it can actually go. So it's forcing this to smoosh out that thermal compound and spread it evenly. Uh-oh.
Do you need alcohol?
That's pizza grease, by the way.
Do you need alcohol?
I don't know. That looks like, this is like a plastic cap, so I don't want to put alcohol on it.
That's not gonna come off?
Maybe just with like a kitchen water.
It's better. No, I still see it.
Yeah, it's still there. It must be something other than pizza grease. All right, now let's install the M.2. So this is a heatsink. See, this is the regular M.2 slot, and this is a heatsink that they've provided with this board.
This is also a heatsink.
Yeah. Because these drives run so fast, they get really hot, so that's why everybody's including. Oh, I wasn't supposed to take that out. It's supposed to be a captive screw. Oh, maybe not. All right, so this is just a, oh, look at that. It's actually got a conductive pad. Yeah, that was supposed to be captive. All right, so what we'll do is we'll install our drive. Ooh, nice, it has a little foam block. Kind of go at an angle. Goes in like that. Find our screw.